Good evening from InvestSharp. This is Randy Smotone with your Monday, August 30th market update. On the economic front, the July U.S. personal income rose by 0.2% and consumer spending rose by 0.4%. That didn't seem to help the market much, even though the numbers weren't too bad. On deck for tomorrow is the S&P Case-Shiller Home Price Index, which is at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll get the Chicago PMI at 9:45 a.m. Eastern Time, the Consumer Confidence at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, and the FOMC minutes, which is from the prior meeting. And we'll get those at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, and I think there's some retail data out as well. The dollar and copper were up today. Gold, silver, and oil were down. Gold was mostly flat, but it was down a little bit. So the looking at the dollar here, you can see, we just had another doji day of neutral, of pretty equal buying and selling. We have been struggling here at this gold line as the 50-day moving average. We cannot seem to take it out as of yet. So we hit it here, got rejected. We've haven't been able to take it here. I mean, we might still take it out, but not yet as far as the dollar goes. See, light sweet crude futures, they were down 47 cents to settle at $74.70 a barrel. And over to the West Texas Intermediate crude point and figure chart, there's no change here. I mean, we're struggling here to take out this prior where we broke down at around the $76 level, and then we came down here and we bounced around the $71 level. So, or 70, 71. So we'll see where we go from here. Let's take a look at the Dow chart. Dow closed down 140 points back to around the 10,000 mark, 10,009. It's like a magnet. S&P closed down 15 points to 1,048. Nasdaq closed down 33 points to 2119, and the Russell closed down 15 points to 601. The Dow held up the best, down 1.39%. The Russell was the weakest, down 2.44%. So the large Dow stocks held up pretty well. The small cap Russell stocks risk trade was off today. So volume was, it was really bad. I would expect it to be pretty bad all week long. It was about 20 to 40%, 20 to 40% below average daily volumes. Not good. So looking here at the Dow, we've struggling here. We're basically stuck right here in this little range. We broke down here, then it kind of got bigger here. But we're an inside day of this large bullish candle. So who knows? I can't. A lot of people are getting more bearish, so maybe I'm going to get bullish now. So I don't know. S&P, similar. This candle's a little bit bigger than the actual candle here, but it's still inside the overall range of the prior day. And MACD is kind of, I can't really tell. It was pretty kind of a bizarre day actually. After this big nice move, and people started jumping in Friday before the close, and then we had this really weak day today. Nasdaq is still cannot take out this 2160-ish area where we broke down from. But we're in this range bound. We're stuck bouncing between back and forth, and they all look pretty much the same. Gold is holding up fine, right up in here. Whoops. Silver's holding up as well. Had good volume here. Low volume on this little bit of a pullback today. Look at the euro. We've been right here. So the euro has a similar problem to the dollar. This gold line, the 50-day moving average, we keep running into it and we can't seem to take it out. And we'll see where we go from here. But we do have this 50-day moving average above us, and it's been resistance up to now. The VIX. Volatility index jumped 11.29% today. So went up, broke out, come back down, and the MACD's kind of pointed up just a little bit. So we're kind of stalling this area. We're still, you can say, we're about midpoint of this bearish candle here. We've got some resistance up here, so you could say we're building a base on the VIX to break out higher. Hopefully not, but we'll see if that plays out. And copper was looking decent today, so it did get rejected at this prior resistance area, but the volume's looking pretty good, and I don't know, copper's been doing pretty well. Let's go take a look at the McClellan oscillator. So we're at minus 42. So we're in the oversold area, but we really need to get deeper down here to minus 50, 60, 80 something. We need to get deeper in here to be back to oversold. So, but we are struggling staying down in this area. Let's take a look at the sectors. Whoops, let me move that over a little bit. So all 16 sectors. We follow finish in the red today, which was the opposite of Friday, where all 16 were in the green. And the drug index held up the best, down 0.73%. The bank index, financials were the weakest, down 2.74%. They just can't seem to catch a bid. Let's go take a look at the chart watch. This little, whatever the name of it, Olympus Holdings or something, never heard of it. IPHS. This is a chemical manufacturing company, broke out on some good volume here out of this triangle, so it might be one worth watching. And Logmain broke out today. That is Chow Main's brother. I'm just kidding. I just couldn't resist, but it had good volume and it broke out today, so it looks interesting to watch. This Canadian railroads, lots and lots of volume down here, and it broke out here out of this triangle type pattern. It's holding up really well, so we'll see where the market goes from here. And it's got the 30 and the 20 day underneath it here, so I think this railroad is definitely worth a watch to have on your list. Cabela's still in this triangle, has not broken out or down, so it's continue to watch. EAT, Brinker had broke out. It ran into the 200-day moving average, this black line right here, as resistance, pulled back, but it did pull back today on very, very light volume. So we'll see where it goes from here to see if Brinker continues higher or not. Corrections Core. This has had had good earnings, broke out up here, and it broke out again. It does have a little longer term. It's going to have resistance up here, but it's been just kind of this sideways action. I mean, it did go lower here, but mostly sideways action, and we'll see where it goes from here. So, and that's another one I think it might be worth watching. Emulex, it has broken out above the downtrend line. It did that Friday with good volume, went a little bit higher today on good volume. So ELX may have bottomed possibly. New Park broke out today, lots of volume. Of course, Acme Packet still stuck in this range. This poor thing's been going sideways now for like a couple of weeks, but it still looks fine, still holding up. Children's Place, still in this triangle, has not broken down or out, so keep it on your watch list. Net Appliance still looks good, very low volume pullback, still holding the downtrend line here. Of course, it's got this 30-day moving average, ran into it as resistance. Riverbed, still holding up fine. FFIV still looks good, still holding up. Skyworks pulled back a decent amount percentage today. It did hold about the midpoint of that bullish candle, which often can be some first level of support, and it's got 30-day moving average caught as well, and it had low volume on this pullback, so I still think it's worth a watch. ADTN still looks fine. Trina Solar still holding up fine. CNQR still looks good. All these silvers are still looking good. SLW, PAAS, SSRI, most of these we've been watching. HL, Hecla Mining still looks good. And the gold, EGO still looks good. BVN still looking good. AUI still looks good. Coeur d'Alene Mines still looks good. RDWR, this Radware, still looks good. CRR still looks good. RAX still looks good. Akamai still holding up well. NetEase still looks good. All these I think we've already watched. Maidenform still looks good. RFMD. Low volume on this pullback, still holding up fine. And then Hain, also just the sideways action, kind of resting after this big move higher. And we'll take a look at the current market signals. We follow the point figure charts for the Dow, Nasdaq, and S&P. No change here. They're still on sell signals, and these are our price objectives, and that hasn't changed either. So we'll see. We got a lot of economic data this week, so it could be a wild ride. And that is all I have for tonight. And have a great rest of your evening, and thanks for watching.